Good afternoon. Today I got a piece of spalled slag glass, and what I'm going to try to do is thin it out and make a Buck Creek point out of it for a point challenge. So hopefully I'll be able to win some more material. So hopefully this will work out well and I'll be able to thin it and we'll make a nice video for you guys. So first thing, I'm going to braid all the sharp edges off, because we want to make sure there's no crushing happening when we're striking it. What I did there is I just lowered that point so when I strike it, I take off a big chunk off of here. In a perfect world. So let's give it a try and we'll see how it goes. Well, that didn't work. Let's try this piece. This will be a smaller Buck Creek if I can get one out of this one. I was hoping to have one about 2 inches long, but might not work out with this one. Drove that flake, followed that ridge right down to the center. Would have been nice if it came part way over it. Got some damage right in here. We might have this one might break again right through here, but we'll see if we can work through it. So basically all I did was so I was hitting here and I was just driving off small flakes so I could lower this edge so that I can start working from this edge. And then once I abrade it, it'll make them strong so that when I strike on here, because I'm going to flip it over this way, I'm going to strike this way and I'm going to take the flakes, going to run down and through. So hopefully remove this crown, or as they would call it, a turtleback. That did not work. And that one rounding right up, right to there. Get apart in 2 pieces. Okay, so I'm going to try, you see here, so it was like this and I've lowered that down. So I'm going to try to strike it here and I want to take this piece off right here, if it works out well. That's what we're shooting for. Look at that. That's exactly what we did. So I struck it here, took that whole point off the thing, so made it that much thinner. helps you actually hit it. 3 times and I didn't crush the edge, and then I clipped and moved over and hit it there, and I was able to run that across. So I just got, looks like this flaw, I got almost all of it out, so now it's looks like it's just a big step fracture in the material. There we go, remove that whole step fracture, plus right up to there. So So when you're making your points, like when you're working your piece down, you want to thin your ends, your 2 ends first, because if you thin the center and then you work on the ends, the vibration from smacking the end will crack it right in the center. Normally, sometimes you can get away with it, but I've had more failures than I have successes doing it that way. You gotta be careful. This has got a really big divot in here. So I want to take short flakes and work this end down so that I can get into that divot, so that it, instead of having the divot running straight across here, I want it to slope into it this way so there is no divot. I'm going to take it and I'm going to try to strike it here, and I want to run this whole piece off there. That's exactly what I did. So you got a little bit of a turtle back happening right here, and that's what we're gonna work on right now to thin it out. See, it's not much better. Most of that turtleback's gone. So one more pass. I'm gonna switch to a smaller bopper, and then we'll just work it and then pressure flake it, and it should be done. And we can shape our Calf Creek out of it. See, I got a little bit right there and another one right there. We'll try to take those out, and then the rest we'll do with pressure, and we'll finish it up. So I have a little female marima, and I got lots of rocks in my backyard. So I looked through them when I first started. I didn't find anything that was nappable. So one of my elders came over yesterday, and we were walking through the backyard, and I looked down, and my little girl was playing with a piece of green chert. I'm gonna do a quick short on it, her, and introduce everybody to her and show everybody the piece that she found, and then maybe I can make a video out of making an arrowhead out of the rock that she found. So I didn't think she would play with the rock. I thought it would be too hard on her teeth, but apparently she's does not have a problem with that. I'm not sure how she knew which rocks to play with, or if it was just a 100% total fluke. That's what we're looking at now. Got a little bit of a twist in it with the work on this corner. Get rid of that twist, but otherwise she's looking pretty good. See if you can see it there. This corner drops down. So when you're holding it here like that, you can see that this corner here is hanging low. So we'll get that taken care of. I'm not very good at freehanding like some of the other guys are. I normally always put it down on my leg and strike it, because I find I have more control and I can get the flakes to run more where I want them to run. Not really what I wanted. I tried to push it, hoping I would get more. Accidentally broke this corner off, but that's not really going to matter because this is going to be a stemmed point and I need that much for the stem, so it actually might work out a little bit in my favor, but we shall see. See, when I'm pressure flaking there, you can hear like a little pop. Well, that's the sound you want to hear. If you hear like a sound, then that means you crushed your shoulder. Your shoulder wasn't strong enough. Let's see if I can make that sound for you here without screwing my point up. Okay, try it right here. No, that was a pop. You'll see me always flipping my point around and looking at it. So when I'm looking at it, I'm looking down the center line, and I'm also looking to So what's above and what's below the center line, so that tells me where I'm going to pressure flake. Some people will start at the top and they just work there all the way down, but I try to keep my line. So my flakes might not line up perfectly like everybody else's. Hear that one there? I just had the little. So I always used to, so I have a file that I touch my pressure flaker up with, and it works really well. But I was watching a guy on, I think it was YouTube, and he literally took his flaker when it's like this, and he just puts it on an anvil and he hammers it so this extrudes out again and makes the point really sharp. I have not had to undo this to slide this out since I got this, and I got this little pressure flaker from I believe it's Steve Keffer from PSK. Makes a lot of really nice tools. So what do we got here for points? So we've got just over 2 inches in length. So these points averaged, I believe it was 45 to 93 millimeters long. And then I have 1.25 inches here. So they want a 1.25 inches, actually 1 3/8 if I swing it on the bottom. So we want a 3/4 inch base on this one. So I'll use a black felt and I'll draw the base and where I gotta notch it, and then I'll go from there, because I'm not very good at making it symmetrical. So we're gonna try to, or I'm gonna try to make it as nice as possible. So there we go. That'll give us a 3/4 inch stem. So what I'm gonna do here, so I drew the stem out, and then I'm gonna use my pressure flaker. I'm gonna thin this out. Driving flakes, that's where that piece snapped off. I'll thin this out, and then I'll start running my flakes, and I'll do the same on this one. And then I'll just get my notching tool out and I'll notch it. And then that should be done. Might have a few touch-up pieces to do on it, but let's get the base notched and everything first, and we'll go from there. when it comes to notching, I'm okay at it. There's lots of people that are way better at notching. Mike Cook's got some really good videos online about notching, and I've watched them over and over and over again, and I'll keep watching them because I'm still not at the same level, and hopefully one day I'll be able to get to that level, but it's one of those things. Practice, practice, practice. You really got, when you're being careful, like when you're notching it, if you're putting a lot of pressure on that notch, you're not going to get the little Hertzian cone, which is what you're looking for. The more pressure you put on when it does release, then what ends up happening is that you take a huge cone, and lots of times you'll bust the barb right off the point. So you got to be mindful of that. Kobe Nelson is really good at doing lots of fine work. Another friend of mine that I met online doing this stuff. So he's got some really fantastic smaller points that got so much detail they just make you drool. So there we are. There's one notch. So now I'll make the other notch the same. And as you can see, I'm going to have to come up a little bit higher, but I'll make them the same and everything will be good. There we go. Gotta really watch that one shoulder's starting to thicken up on me. It's not allowing me to drive a flake. And that's what happens. And just too much pressure there, and the cone blew that whole corner off. It's still good because I got to come up higher anyway, and the points, the edge of the point's going to be right there. But that's what I was talking about. When you put too much pressure on, and then you get that big release in the energy, and then off comes the corner. 2 more times and I'll be high enough. Well, there's a big bee in here somewhere. I'm getting a bumblebee somewhere. He's making a lot of noise. There it goes. And now I just gotta make those even up. Oh, I might have just broke it. Nope. That's what we got so far. Just gotta finish touching it up and it'll be done. When you're going through and sharpening it, you just want to move your pressure flaker or your sharpening tool or your notching tool. You just want to go eighth of an inch, pop a little flake off. And you're not popping a lot off. Glass and obsidian are razor sharp, so you don't have to pop tons of material off. A little bit off. Hopefully this doesn't break. There we go. One finished point. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks. Bye.